We're here on a modification and confirmation of arrears from a order that was done 2 years ago, almost today. I was on 24th of January, 2022. All right, Ms. Correa, you'll have a contested hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. And then the grounds for modification would be that the medical insurance has changed.
Okay.
I'll call the mother. Ma'am, can you state your name for the record?
It's Ping Shay Sayase.
And ma'am, what is the name and age of the child or children in this case?
Henry Wynn. He's 9.
And who does he live with?
He lives with me.
And ma'am, you were the father was previously ordered to pay child support.
Yes.
Has he made every single payment on time?
Yes. I believe so. I'm not sure, but you guys take care of that. I think there might have been a couple of times that didn't, but it's maybe due to unemployment.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I will now present the pay record if the judge will allow me to share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will mark this as State's Exhibit number 1 and ask that be admitted for all purposes.
We don't see it yet.
So we do show a very small arrears amount. I'll now stop sharing my screen. How is your child currently covered through insurance?
He is covered by me. Well, so I had to request the state for help, Medicaid. I just started a job this month, and so I was just now able to get coverage. But I was also laid off, unemployed since June. And so the child was supposed to be covered by dad. But then we had a medical emergency early October. And then that's when I found out that he wasn't covered. And so I went to the hospital and asked for help with Medicaid. And so they approved it.
Okay, ma'am, and your child is currently on Medicaid today, correct?
Yes, but he's
Okay.
also covered by me, so I
Okay.
don't know if it takes precedence or.
Okay, so let's talk about that. What type of insurance do you have for your child? Is it through an employer or through the marketplace?
Yes, their employer.
And how much does it cost for you to carry your child on your insurance?
In total, well, it costs a little over almost 200. She calculated for me. I had to give her the numbers because I had to go through and look through my benefits because I just got it. So I think it was like $7 for dental and 200 something for medical.
Okay, so would you be in agreement if the father was ordered to reimburse you the medical support amount of $228.54?
Yes.
Okay. Would you be in agreement if the father would be ordered to reimburse you for dental at $4.78?
Yes.
Would you be in agreement for the father to be ordered to pay court cost as billed?
Yes.
Would you be in agreement to a child support to be set now at a different amount at $348?
Yes. Does that include medical?
That is in addition to medical.
Yes.
And do you agree that the child support arrear should be confirmed at $1,432.47?
Yes.
And that he be required to pay that off in let's say at $50 a month?
Sure.
Okay. Do you have anything additional you would like to tell the court?
Yes, so due to the fact that he didn't ensure that our child was covered, and my child went to children's medical for a week, he stayed in the hospital, and the bills were under his name, and I had to go request Medicaid to help to pay any other additional bills, and I had asked him to submit the hospital bills to Medicaid so that they can cover and help pay for it because we're both unemployed. He told me initially that he did it. And then just last week, he just told me that it wasn't submitted. And now I have to go and plead with Medicaid to help. It passed the 90-day threshold for them to be able to cover it. And so I have to go and actually plead with Medicaid to help with that, with the October hospital stay. So I feel like Mr. Wynn, one, didn't ensure that our child was covered when he went to the hospital. Even though he was unemployed, he could have got COBRA or other alternatives. And he didn't communicate that to me until I realized it when we went to the hospital. And two, he didn't ensure that the hospital bills were submitted to Medicaid to be covered and to be paid for. I feel that Mr. Wynn should be responsible for any outstanding medical bills due to that occurrence.
And you understand, ma'am, that the Attorney General has not pled that today?
I'm sorry, but I advised the other lady about it, and she said she was going to contest it and at that end. Because
Do you have any bills with you currently, ma'am? Any evidence?
I have the email that he sent me that has the amount that's due. Because I don't have bills because it's all under his name because he's supposed to have covered our child.
Excuse me,
Understood.
can I talk or should I be
Hold on,
waiting?
hold on.
I now pass this witness and I call the father. Sir, can you state your name for the record?
Yes, first name is Hui, H-U-Y, last name is Wynn, N-G-U-Y-E-N.
Sir, are you in agreement to pay the mother medical support of $228.54?
This is my first time hearing that he is covered by her plan. I don't have any transparency to either what is really being paid. I'd like to have some transparency on what is actually being paid by
So
her.
is that it? So is that a yes or a no, sir?
No,
Okay. What about the dental support amount? Would you be in
same. I
agreement?
don't have any transparency to anything in terms of her insurance plan.
Sir, if you would be so kind to let me answer my question, even though you can anticipate it, I understand. Just let me get my question out. Are you in agreement to the child support to be ordered at $348 per month?
Yes.
Okay. And sir, do you have any private insurance available to you at a reasonable cost?
I don't have any insurance at the moment, but just to comment on the insurance for Henry, he was covered by my insurance or my company insurance until the end of December 31st, 2023. And I have all the documentation to prove that. And I've also provided mom with documentations on that and various communication that Henry does have insurance. And I've also provided a list of bills that my insurance has received, and portion that they paid and portion that we are responsible for. And I've also provided that to mom, but she has denied everything. I can provide that to the court as well if it's necessary, as well as all the communications that I've had with mom in terms of insurance and bills and portion that we are responsible for.
Sir, you had testified earlier about one, not it being an agreement for the mother to carry insurance because of transparency issues. Are you telling this court that she's not telling the truth of how much her insurance costs? What's the reason for the transparency comment?
My understanding was that she had requested for Medicaid for Henry, and so he got approved for that. He was also approved for a program called Needy Expense or something like that, which covered like a portion of the hospital bill. And it was all under her name. And she was to submit the bill to the insurance company, although she kept asking me to do it because it's my insurance and I have the bill, etc. However, when I tried to call the Medicaid to submit that, they would not take anything from me or provide me with any status because it's not registered under my name. And in order for me to get any information or submit anything, I would have to be added. Unfortunately, she never added me, so I couldn't get any details on the plan or be able to submit anything. I did call the hospital to ask them to submit it. They did tell me that they submitted it, and they're waiting for status. But when I called the program to get status, they would not provide me with any information because, again, I don't have access to it. I informed mom about the whole situation, but she didn't make any progress to check with the program or to do anything, and kept pressing me that I have to do everything, which obviously I can't because I'm not on the plan. As far as the bills and everything, like I said, I have all the documentation that I can forward to the court to review that, to show that Henry was covered until the end of December 31st, 2023.
And
And as far
sir,
as the insurance plan that she just mentioned, like I said, I just know about it today. And so I don't know what the total cost is. I haven't seen anything. I don't have any details on that. And I'm asking just to have some transparency to really see all the costs that she's actually paying versus, you know, is it for the whole family that's 228, or is it just, you know, Henry that's 228? She does have another child, so I don't know if that portion includes, you know, children versus primary employee. So just wanted some transparency on that before I agree to everything there.
okay. My last question is, and I'll have to recall the mother for this portion. Do you agree that you are in arrearage a small amount?
I'm in arrearage.
No, ma'am, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the father. I'll recall
Oh.
you in a second.
Oh.
Okay. Sir, did you see earlier when I displayed the pay record?
What you have and what I have is a little bit different.
Okay.
I
The
see
state has,
here,
sir,
yeah, I have a statement here on December 2nd that the arrear amount is 2101.47.
so the amount that the state is requesting for arrearage to be confirmed is smaller than what you're saying. It's
Okay.
$977.47 as of December 31st, 2023. Would you be in agreement to pay off that arrearage at $50 a month?
I was requesting the court to retro for when I was unemployed because the court has been taking 50% of even my unemployment since September.
So I'll
based on
take that
the
as
original.
so I'll take that as a
court
no,
payment.
sir. I'm the one asking the questions. I'll recall the mother. Ma'am, do you agree that there is a child support arrearage in the amount of $977.47?
No, I think I saw another amount differently, a higher amount.
I pass both the witnesses.
Okay, I think I saw something different too, Ms. Correa, but I guess it depends on dates. Depending on what date we're looking at. I think I originally looked at your pay record. It said 14/32/47. Did you amend the date to a different date when you talked about?
Yes, Your Honor. I
Okay.
would like to amend the date to 12/31/23, and this is to avoid not giving the father any credit for what he would have paid this month. So that would be, as of that date, the arrearage amount would be $977.47, and we were asking for a payoff of $50.
Are you asking that the child support amount changed on January 1st?
It would be the child support amount would be our regular child support amount date, which would be February 1st.
Okay. All right. Ma'am, let me just ask you, I think Mr. Nguyen has a somewhat of a valid question. I think it was done correctly, but I just want to make sure he understands as far as what your insurance cost is. Can you tell us what your whole insurance cost is, not just like what they calculated or did a fraction of? What's your whole insurance per month on health
Yep.
insurance?
So what I had advised is that I just started this job and I went by what my paycheck was giving me.
Which
So
is how much?
yes, sir, let me go through it again. I actually have it screenshot. My total contribution for the year for insurance is $39.69.
On a
That,
yearly basis?
I'm sorry.
On a yearly basis?
That's what it says. This is just by me going through a website that has my benefits. So I asked the previous lady too. I really understand where he's coming from. I would like the opportunity, have some time to go back and get the specific dollar amount because I just started this job and just got this benefit like just recently and just got this court date. I really didn't know this was about, how getting the specific number. So if I could have some time, I really don't know. I don't know if I need to reach out to my HR, but I'm just going by like a website that gives me kind of high level, like what it is.
You haven't
So
gotten a paycheck yet?
I got a paycheck. I gave
Did
her
it have your insurance on the paycheck yet, or had you not enrolled at that time?
yes, I have it. I have it now. So I gave her that number. And
What's
so
that
she
number?
estimated it. Okay, give me 1 second.
I can do the math. I'm good at math, but I need
Sure.
to give me the number. Right?
I'm nervous right now, so give me 1 second. I have to go back to it.
That's okay.
Thank you. Okay, so it's $298.56 every paycheck.
Which is how often?
That doesn't include
Okay, well, hold on. John, medical, you're saying it's $298.56 per paycheck, but I don't know how often you get paid. So is that every 2 weeks or
that's
twice
it.
a week?
That's every 2 weeks.
Okay.
That doesn't include accidental critical indemnity. And I don't know where my dental, it doesn't show here. It doesn't show here. It doesn't show my paycheck. So where benefit. So that's the thing. Like I think to be fair, I think to be fair to Mr. Wynn, fair to myself too, is I probably need to get the right number for him.
Well, I can do it here probably. I don't know. If it's $298.56,
And that doesn't,
bi-weekly-
and
hold
there's
on. Hold
so
on.
there's
You need to wait for
sorry.
me to finish what I'm saying. $298.56 biweekly is $646.88 on a monthly basis. That's just for medical. What else were you gonna say?
So I don't see the dental here.
Okay, I
And
heard you say that before.
yeah, and I don't see the vision here. But I also have like accidental, critical, and hospital indemnity, which
We don't
is
do
about
this. We don't do
which
that. We're just doing health insurance and medical support. We don't do vision. We don't do anything else. So just health insurance and dental is all we can do. Okay.
okay.
So your health insurance, you said it's $298.56 biweekly. So it's about $646.88 is
I'm
what
sorry,
math says it should be.
$298.56.
Yeah, it's $646.88 a month. How many people are on the insurance? I assume it's you, Henry, and is there another child on the insurance?
It's Evan.
Huh?
Evan, yes.
Okay, so there's 3 people on the insurance.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so we divide the 646.88 divided by 3, that's $215.63, which is a little bit different than what the state put on here for the calculation. I'm not sure why, but
Okay.
I know you don't have the dental listed there, but dental's pretty minimal. Do you think the health insurance that they took out is going to be a different amount in your next paycheck, or you think that's probably the same amount it's going to be every paycheck?
I would assume it'll be the same amount.
Okay. I mean, well, we can reset the case, but that doesn't really help. I'm sure Mr. Wynn would like to get his child support lowered, and resetting it means also not lowering his child support. So, I mean, something, yeah, I mean, want to be exact. Y'all are kind of exact kind of people, it sounds like. But and overall, the big picture, we need to lower amounts because Mr. Wynn's income has changed dramatically. Okay. So,
So yeah, so just because sorry, I'm intro, but just because I just started and I just got this, and I'm worried that they might have not, deducted everything, because this is basically my first paycheck. If it's possible to set another date, I mean, but that's up to you, Judge. I don't know. Mr. Wynn asked for it, right? And it's fair to him too. I didn't tell him because I just got it, and we had this court date scheduled. So
that's all understandable. I mean, I understand both of your views on that. And if you want me to do this temporary order, I can. But I think we're really only arguing about $10 or $12 or something like that, or $228.
I agree, Judge. I think we can move
$13
forward as long as we have some
Let me finish
transparency.
talking. So we're really only talking about maybe $13 a month, a difference. And the health insurance is not a unreasonable number. Like, it's not like $1,000 a month. I know it's still $646.88. It's not cheap overall, but again, Mr. Wynn's not obligated to pay for the other two people, including you. So if we look at it from that perspective, 1/3 is not that much of a difference. If we want to reset, it may only change $10 up or down. I don't know. Mr. Wynn, are you agreeable to paying $215.62 for the medical?
A month, Judge?
Yes.
Yes, I'm okay with that. I just wanted some transparency there.
Okay. And I don't think she's trying to lie to you. She's just not sure yet.
Right, but I think more importantly, Judge, if I can ask, is that since this September, I haven't been able to find a job, unfortunately. I'm hoping that to turn around this year. But since September, I've been paying a significant amount, or I've been asked to pay a significant amount, which I do not have. And I've never made any late payment to the child support. But now I'm having an arrear that is more than what I can afford. And also, I've been behind on a lot of bills because of my unemployment being cut in half. So I'm asking the court here to have some retro on those months that I have not been able to find a job, so that I can get back on track to my, to clear the arrears and get back on track to what I should be paying.
All right. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm ordering child support of $348 a month, beginning February 1st. Medical support of $215.62 per month. Dental support of $4.78. Mother is going to carry health insurance and dental insurance. I cannot retroactively modify your child support. I am going to lower the payment though. So first, I'm confirming you owe $977.47. And instead of ordering you to pay $50 a month, I'm ordering you to pay $20 a month on that, which will help with the overall number here as far as what that's concerned. I cannot go back and modify in the past. When something changes, you have to file something immediately with the court for me to be able to change it. I can only change it for the future, not the past.
I did file it immediately, Judge, but I don't know why the system takes so long to.
Well, there's two ways to file this kind of modification, and you pick the slow one. The slow one is asking the Attorney General's office to do it. Not that they're slow, but it's just that it takes a while to process, and they also have the discretion to say they don't want to file it. So take that under advisement in the future. If something changes, they could always say, they don't want to file a modification. And then maybe that's part of why they were slow, is because they wanted to make sure that you're going to be unemployed for a while instead of just being for like a week or two.
I'm sorry, Judge, but how should I file then to expedite the process?
Please stop interrupting me.
Okay.
The second option, which is much quicker, is that you file your own motion to modify with the court, serve the parties instead of hearing yourself. That's a very small, not so complex issue that I think you probably would be able to file on your own. There's forms at the law library at Dallas County that you just kind of fill in the blank, file that, and you can get a hearing within a month if you do that. But if you wait on the agency to do it, then they may be slow or they may say no, and there's nothing I can do about that if you didn't go the other route. I can't take ignorance of the law as an excuse for me to lower support. I understand, you're doing a great job, obviously, because you don't owe a lot of arrears, to be honest. I mean, that's pretty good. I'm not too concerned about that. It's just part of what we have to do as far as cleanup is concerned. And like I said, I lowered the payment from the 50 to the 20 to help you out here while you're maybe not as employed as you want to be. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I know you didn't bring this up, but I do want to just correct some of the statement Mr. Wynn has said about.
Hold on, let me speak on what I think you're going to tell me about. Okay, so the unreimbursed medical, I can't do anything about that today. I need y'all to get together. I know maybe communication is not the best in the world between you two. It sounds like y'all don't like to talk to each other. And health insurance companies are not the easiest people to talk to either. So it sounds like y'all have the ability to get the insurance companies to maybe pay for it either through the Medicaid or through the health insurance. If you had health insurance, sir, then they should have paid for it. But please understand that the mom showed up at the hospital or the caregiver, and they told her there wasn't any coverage when they ran it through the computer. So she's not trying to lie to you or charge you more money. That's what the provider told her. So what's going to need to happen is y'all going to need to make some phone calls. What I would suggest is maybe making the phone calls together, a three-way call to all the providers, because there's certain things that they're going to provide to each of you and not to the other person. So if you call, let's say mother's insurance, they're going to tell you, we don't want to give you any information because you're not on the insurance. If you have father's insurance, they're going to want to give father information, but not the mother. That's why I'm suggesting that maybe y'all get on a three-way call where y'all can both verify each other's information. I'm sure y'all already know each other's personal information anyway, so it's not like you're going to steal each other's identity or anything like that. Y'all need to make some phone calls to them and see if they will cover it. It sounds to me like y'all probably, my guess is that there shouldn't be any costs or very little cost once you get the insurance companies to do what they're supposed to. If Medicaid was there, then they should pay for 100%. But if you have private insurance, then they should also have paid maybe 75, 80% of it, depending on what they cover. The problem is that they're only giving you all half information. And then you tell the other party your half of the information and they don't agree. And as I said earlier, y'all sound like y'all are exact kind of precise kind of people. And it's not that you're trying to hide from each other, but just that y'all like to be very precise with the number, and y'all are only getting half the information. So I don't think that maybe either one of you are at fault for that. It's just the insurance companies are being difficult with y'all. And the only way to prevent that or try to do something about it is to work together to get them to pay what they're supposed to. Now, after all of that, if you've called everybody, you've called Medicaid, you've called the insurance companies or anybody else, if there's some balance due, that's something I don't know what it will be because I don't know what the number is. Whatever the number is, then each of y'all need to pay half of those costs. Don't just ignore them. If you don't pay the cost, then one or both of you could file a lawsuit against each other to ask for the other party to pay 100% of cost or 50% of costs. But I don't really know what that number is, and I don't think y'all do either. So y'all need to do some legwork on that part first before I can make any judgment. I mean, as the attorney said, it hasn't been filed before the court today. And that's something we need to know because insurance companies are difficult, to say the least. And so they'd rather not pay. So you kind of have to make them pay. But again, that's something where y'all are going to have to work together to figure out what that number is. And then once you know, then y'all can split the remainder if there is a remainder. There may not be, depending on when Medicaid started and when health insurance stopped or didn't stop. It sounds like it should have, an October event should have covered through the insurance and also through Medicaid. So I can't really make a judgment on that. I'm just guessing, but definitely y'all need to work together and make some phone calls, maybe together or at the same place, or I don't know, maybe just a 3-way call will work. Because I don't think y'all have all the information. And like I said, I don't blame either one of you. I think y'all are both trying to resolve it, but y'all are only getting half the information. And that's kind of the problem, as far as then you're having to relay it to the other person and they may or may not believe what you said. So that's kind of the problem. And I think if y'all hear it for yourselves, like on a 3-way call, that might answer a lot of questions where you'll be able to, one person might be able to ask a question that the other person didn't ask or something like that. And you know that usually you have to be on the call for a long time before you even get to a live person anyway. So I think that's what y'all need to do. I can't really speak on that today because I don't know the answer. I'm hoping optimistically that y'all don't have to pay anything, but I don't know. Okay, did that answer what you were going to say, ma'am?
Yes, absolutely agree. I think that's a great idea. And sorry, I don't mean to segue, but I also I brought this up as a contestant, not really a contestant, more of like a hopeful. So I moved, and so we have family violence in our order history. And so we initially had to drop off at the police station and then now McDonald's, but I moved since. And so McDonald's is a little far away for me. So I was hoping we can change the location in terms of drop off to be closer to me and be closer to Henry's school and where we live.
Well, that's up to you, Mr. Wynn, if he wants to do that or not. I'm not going to put in the court order today, but otherwise you would have to meet at the place. And that's you moved, not Mr. Wynn's fault that you moved. Mr. Wynn, do you want to pick a different place? Just
No, I think the place where we've been using is fine. It's not far from her new home. And also in terms of family or domestic violence, does never have any evidence on that. She even provided me with her home address, so I'm not sure what she's referring to. But I like to keep things as stable as possible instead of just moving all over the place.
All right. I mean, I'm not here on the visitation change, so that's something you want to petition for, you can, but
Okay.
I can't. Otherwise, you would have to meet where you're supposed to be meeting.
So, sir, Your Honor, would I do the same process as, what you mentioned earlier, the 2 methods, if I want to do the change in visitation, because in terms of visitation and all this other stuff, or would it be best to hire an attorney?
For a visitation issue, you probably would want to hire an attorney, but you can try. A modification of child support is not very hard because it's just math, but a modification of visitation is something different. I don't know how difficult it will be, so I really don't know. I can't give you legal advice, but generally it's not an easy issue. But until something changes, you're to meet them at the place that's listed in the prior order until you change it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Y'all are done with court. The Attorney General's office will draft an order based on my ruling, send out a new withholding order for the new amounts, and y'all are done with court. You can press leave on the Zoom to exit out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.